have to check. I always have to check. Cajun crust.
State Champs Score is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza. Also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, Alta Equipment Company, Michigan High School Athletic Association, and the Construction Association of Michigan.
And welcome in to The Score here on the State Champs Network. Week 2 of the MHSAA football playoffs. Some great action going on already, and that's why we are here. We have correspondents all over the place. You should see the cast of thousands in here. Okay, thousands, probably too much, Grant, probably too much, but we have a lot of people working in here trying to get the numbers and the footage to you out there as we are all trying to react in real time to the outstanding action that is taking place all over the great state of Michigan. He is Grant Perry. My name is Sean Baligian. Welcome into The Score. Grant, we've been sitting here for the last hour and a half watching actions. Nothing like it here in this first week of November.
No, nothing like it. Great first round, and today we're getting treated to another great second round of the playoffs. And as we're watching it all unfold, we'll get you the highlights, man, but there's been some great plays so far. Excited for you guys to see it.
You know what? We're going to have Lauren Plant along. We're going to have Patty along. And I need to point something out. Look at the bottom of the screen right there. Shout out to my guy, Chuck. Is that unbelievable? Like I asked him when we saw that scroll. See that scroll? Look down. See with all the scores? I said to Chuck, I said, well, how did you do that? He goes, I built it. I don't know how you build a scroll, but that's exactly what happened. So as action comes in and as updates come in, you'll see it along the bottom. We're also going to have some highlights for you. We're going to have some live check-ins as well. Like I said, Lauren Plant is going to be here. Patty Cesarini is going to be here as well. But, Grant, a lot of games to keep an eye on. I know one that we were watching in here, near and dear to your heart. Nothing wrong with that. Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's renewing a longtime rival. That's been a dandy so far.
It has, and just as expected, they've already met once in the regular season, and that game honestly was somewhat of a shock. Rice was an underdog in that game and ended up coming out on top. St. Mary's has allowed, I think, about 120 points all season. Brother Rice in that first meeting scored 43. So we'll see if the Eaglets defense can step up this go-round.
I'm looking at, just as we're talking about that, I see that St. Mary's added another touchdown, so they extend their lead to 14-6 now over Brother Rice. Heck of a lot of time left in that game. So as we said, you know, if you want to listen to some of the stuff that we're talking about, be a part of the conversation. That's what we're trying to do. We always say it's like we're sitting in my basement right now and we're all watching together. That's the beauty of Score here on the State Champs Network. Don't forget that bottom of the screen as well. We've got those scores that are scrolling across right now and some great action. We are watching a bit as I see it come up. Detroit King jumped out to a big lead early, but give the Trojans from Trenton credit, Grant. They aren't going down without a fight.
No, they're not. And we just saw a past couple minutes, a couple back-to-back scores. I think one defensive touchdown. So Trenton, like you said, they're not giving up. They're still fighting. Interested to see how that one finishes. I know that one's getting close to the end. Kings got a double-digit lead, but Trenton not giving up.
Throughout the course of the night, what we're going to do is we're going to get you some footage as well, let you know what's going on in some of these games. If you will, take out the microscope and take a closer look at some of these games. We were just talking about Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's getting together, that unique field out there next to Orchard Lake. And let's look at some of the early highlights, very early on, as a matter of fact, as of course, Brother Rice in that traditional orange. How about this, setting the tempo, a 48-yard kickoff return. Grant, you can't say enough about the special teams getting involved and creating some things for you, giving you a shorter field.
Absolutely. There's 3 phases to a game: offense, defense, special teams. If you win 2 out of 3 of those phases, your likelihood of winning that game goes up dramatically.
And after that kickoff return, there you go, a field goal opportunity. The kick is up and good. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's took a 3-0 lead. They tried to make it 6-0. That field goal was a wide. And then Brother Rice said, you know what, we're going to get involved in this. There's a touchdown run from 3 yards out. The 2-point conversion, no good. 6-3 is the score at the time. Here's a 2-point conversion. No, sir.
That one was pretty covered.
Look at this right here, 45-yard touchdown pass. Look at this, 45-yard touchdown here. Getting into the end zone. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's on top. They've extended that lead. I think the last score that I saw, we'll try to get an update on that. Blanc and Clarkston. This is one that we were really keeping an eye on, too. Unbelievable teams. Keeper here. Boy, this team is explosive. Look at him navigate, spin out of would-be tackler after would-be tackler, and matriculating his way into the end zone.
Sean, that's a quarterback, man.
Yes,
that's not a running back. That's Alex Wyshenko, starting quarterback for Clarkston.
Blanc, this is an unbelievable offense, and a guy that just joined our list. 67-yard pass here. Look at that.
You kidding me, Sean? Do you see that? Concentration by the receiver. Great job by number 4 there.
Yeah, Morrow's not done. He just jumped on our list. How about a 25-yard touchdown pass here? Knew exactly where the line was, dished it off, and Blanc in business, tying that up at 7 apiece. Clarkston wasn't done yet. Wyshenko. This is going to be 25 yards out, and it's 14-7 Clarkston after the first quarter of play. They aren't done yet. I think we've seen these guys, haven't we?
The Bash Brothers?
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of 0 and 1, haven't we?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that gets them in. Blanc has to fight back again. How about this? 50-yard pass. That'll get you good field position.
Ooh, Jake Morrow, quarterback number 7, playing good ball.
And here he is on a keeper, showing again why he jumped into our list. 20-14 now. Romeo. Boy, this team has been red hot. Let's not forget they lost their first couple games of the year. They got their quarterback healthy, Grant Perry, and he shows us why they're so dangerous right there with that 13-yard strike.
Yeah, and these teams have played once before the regular season. Romeo came out on top. You know what they say, it's always hard to beat a team twice, but it's trending in Romeo's direction here.
8-yard touchdown run puts them up 14-0. They aren't done. How about a 21-yard touchdown pass here? Flag comes flying in, but that, of course, was on Dakota. Still not done. You ready for this?
What we got here?
A 60-yard run.
Get out of here.
Yeah, look at this.
And Romeo, they run a fun offense. A lot of wing counter combinations where they're running reverses like you see right there. And if a defense isn't on their P's and Q's, it's very hard to defend.
Didn't get in, but hold on. 2 yards out. 2 from 2 yards out, and they take a 28-0 lead. Let's take a look at this. This was all King early on, as a matter of fact. Trenton tried to get on the board first. That field goal was no good. So King takes over. How about a 45-yard touchdown pass? Watch this. We were watching. No substitute for speed, Grant, and he just ran away from everybody.
Get that speed and space, and great things happen.
They decide to go for 2, of course. Here's that attempt, wide open back of the end zone, and they take an 8-0 lead. Trenton trying to get back into it. Check this out. 55-yard pass. Can he get in? Can he get in? Can he get in? Punched out at the 1-yard line for the touchback, Grant.
Wow. You can see my face. I'm in disbelief. Great play and hustle by the defense. Wow.
But Trenton undaunted. Back to pass here. Still trying to move the ball. That is going to be deflected and picked off by King. So King takes over. They get a couple of breaks go their way. Take a look at that replay there.
Man, talk about playing through the whistle, finding that football.
King gets down to the 16-yard line. Another touchdown here. And King going to go for 2 points again, and they are going to get it. Take a look here. Back of the end zone. 16-0 lead. King's not done. Watch this. 30-yard touchdown run.
Quarterback run. Read it. Kept it. Found himself in the end zone for 6 there.
Well, you know, it worked twice already, so why don't we go for 2 again? All right? Let's. I think that's the mentality of the Crusaders. They do, and they convert again. Just like that, it's 24-0. Grant, they're not done yet.
No, they're not.
Watch this. 7-yard touchdown pass. Looks like he went too far wide, and he cuts it back in, and they say, hey, listen, we did it 3 times. Let's try it once more.
Yep.
Another 2-point conversion. Boom. Just out of the outstretched hand of a defender, and it's 32-0 King. Trenton, though, as we mentioned, undaunted. They come fighting back. That's a big touchdown to get on the board, Grant. They know being down 32-0, it would be in their best interest to go for 2.
Oh, look at that play.
A little trickeration,
Yeah,
huh?
that's pretty nice. Creative stuff.
King says, all right, you got on the board. We're going to explode. How about that 45-yard touchdown run? They go for 2 again. This time, the conversion is no good. Trenton, though, as we said, they aren't going to go quietly into the night. As a matter of fact, this is going to go the other way for a pick 6. So at last check, it was 38-22. As a matter of fact, we were just informed it is a final. It is a final now. 2-point conversion here to make it 38-22. And that's how it ends. Congratulations to King. They move on with a 38-22 victory over Trenton.
When you look at King, sometimes the record doesn't represent what they are on the field. You see 6-4 for Detroit Martin Luther King, but a lot like Detroit Cass Tech, Martin Luther King, they find their rhythm in the playoffs and they go full speed. You see it right there. They just beat Trenton pretty handedly. A lot of those highlights were on King's side.
2 teams that we saw very early in the year, as a matter of fact, at Wayne State, if you recall. As I mentioned, we have a plethora of people helping us here tonight, a great crew. We appreciate each and every one of them. But why don't we throw it over to Lauren Plant right now? Oh, to Patty. Okay, Lauren Plant, I'm sorry. From one smiling face to another. From Lauren's smiley face to Patty's smiley face. Patty, what do you got for us?
Well, wanted to share a fun tidbit of information from King's coaching staff. So 3 of the coaches on that staff are actually from the first state championship that they had in 2007. They have Dontavius Bryant, who was also head coach's Terrell Patrick's first captain when he started with the team in 2009. Bryant played at Northwood. Aronde Stanton came back. He played at Youngstown State. And then Donovan Dickerson also came back, and he played at Morgan State. Overall, King has a ton of guys that come back to their program after they're done playing, and Coach Patrick absolutely loves having these guys come back, work with his current team. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, having guys come back from the first state championship that King has ever won. Come on, right?
That is so cool. No doubt, Patty. Great story. I'll tell you what, Grant, you know it. You lived it. The MHSAA, pretty cool place. And we keep letting people know each and every year the amount of talent in this state.
I mean, it's overflowing, and it gets better and better each year. The competition rises.
I love every second of it, all right? So we are going to get updates going as the night goes on. As a matter of fact, now to the other smiling face. We went ladies first with Patty Cesarini. Why don't we go to Lauren Plant? Lauren?
Well, thank you very much. Just a voice in the darkness here. But let's get caught up with the D1 District Championship Showdown in the Motor City. Detroit Cast Tech hosting Dearborn Fordson. The technicians rolling in undefeated while the Tractors look to knock off a perennial power, punch their ticket to the regionals. Cast Tech wasted no time. Julius Taylor, the handoff near the goal line, finds a crease in the touchdown. Cast Tech on the board first, 7-0 Technicians. Fordson trying to look for a spark in the first quarter. The quarterback, Firas Awadallah, steps up, fires the strike to Ahmed Al-Birahi for a 20-yard gain, moving the chains deep into Tech territory, but the drive would stall, and Cast's defense would hold firm. We've got some second quarter action here, but we just want to show you that freeze frame first. It's so pretty. Let's just move on to Cousino versus Groves. We can do that. A D2 district title game under the lights in Beverly Hills. Birmingham Groves hosting Warren Cousino. Falcons trying to extend their postseason surge. We go right off the bat, and this is an 84-yard romp to the end zone. Jeremiah Whitley to the house. Falcons were on top early 7-0, but Cousino would answer. This is Daniel Carter breaking through the middle, finding daylight of his own, spinning to the house to tie things up at 7. But Groves would be back on the move. It is going to be the quarterback, Lavelle Shannon, rolling and finding Joshua Hammonds in the end zone. That's 6. They go for 2. Whitley will muscle his way in right here, and the Falcons would go in front 15-17. But Cousino's not backing down. Brick Sandridge is, well, there's the 2-point now. Brick Sandridge is going to hook up with Julian Hayes on a long catch and run to set up near the goal line. Sandridge would go ahead and finish it himself with a quarterback sneak and put the extra point in to put Cousino on top 15-14. So that is the story right now. Falcons did take back the lead 22-14 in a high-scoring first half in Beverly Hills. Groves finding ways to answer every challenge, guys. Their offense hanging punch for punch, but the Falcons have controlled tempo heading into the second half.
Pretty cool place to see a game. We had the fortune of doing a couple games there last year. Grant, I know in particular you're very familiar with that place. Not too far away from where our studio is, and we'll keep an eye on that one. That should be a dandy.
Yeah, the backup quarterback from last year for Groves, Lavelle Shannon, was just in there now. Got a little bit of time when we watched him last year. Very fast, very mobile quarterback. Also can throw the football. Excited to see what he does in the second half.
You know what I'm excited to see? My partner had a great conversation with Jack Tuttle, and we're going to have that at some point in time coming up in the show. And by the way, everybody in the studio is in on a little secret Grant and I are not in on. Everybody keeps saying that there's a surprise coming for us at the end of the show. Do you have any idea what they're talking about?
I do.
So I'm literally the only one.
I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Hungry Howie's Cajun Crust.
Okay, I'm in. That sounds good to me. That just put a smile on my face. Thank you very much. Yeah, nothing better on a Friday night. A little chill in the air, right? Get yourself a Cajun Crust pizza. We thank Hungry Howie certainly for being a big part of what we do here, as all our sponsors, really. We can't do this without your help. And, hey, listen, I would be remiss if I didn't say this. Support those who support us. It really is cool that we can do things like this. Taking a look at some of the scores down here, I know our buddy Ryan Slocum is at the Goodrich-Chelsea game. Goodrich with a 13-7 lead there at last count. Harper Woods, boy, they're just dangerous,
Yeah,
huh?
they are. They got a special player, special quarterback-receiver combination, Nate Rocheleau and Dakota Garant. Names to watch out for that Harper Woods team.
Speaking of Dakota Garant, the Mr. Football Award. And this is something that we talk about. Hey, say his name and he shall appear. Dakota Garant right there. Some pretty good players on there. You know, we mentioned Jake Morrow, a late addition. And I want to give a shout-out to all the Bobcat fans out there, okay? Maybe they were new to this process because Jake Morrow just came on, okay? You know how you vote for your guy? Take a look at that young man. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing. There isn't a lot of buzz in the recruiting world for him. I think that's going to change sooner rather than later, Mr. Perry.
And it should. I mean, he is a baller. Gotten a chance to see his tape from previous games, and watching it live tonight, you see why. 12 for 17 last week, over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, this kid can flat out fly. And if there's a reason that they're in this game right now, competing and battling against Clarkston, it's because of Jake Morrow, man. The ability to create from the backfield at that quarterback position is so vital at the high school level. And you just see here, most of his throws are outside the pocket. He wants to get out there, let his players and receivers make up and find ways to get around the field, and he facilitates that football to them very well.
This offense has just been prolific this year. Their lowest point total entering tonight was 35 points. Grant, they've had 50 or more 5 times already this year. But let me get back to the great fans out in Grand Blanc, and I mean that. We did a game there last year. What a great atmosphere. One of the most beautiful stadiums in the state, okay, as we take a look at our criteria. I think the entire city of Grand Blanc sent an email to the entire crew at State Champs. While we appreciate your votes that way, let me tell you how we really need you to vote and how your guy can use your vote. Go to the State Champs webpage. Click on awards, right? You will see Mr. Football. There is your opportunity to vote, okay? It really is that simple. Our criteria, we live by it, Grant. You've been part of the process. We'll all get together in a room about 20 feet away from here. Our Professor Lauren Plant, will stand at the chalkboard. We will go through all of the criteria, and that's how we pick our winner. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times what happens is you walk in that room thinking, well, Grant Perry's going to win that award. Grant Perry is going to win that award. But then when you apply all the criteria, I think we got to go with Alex Malzone.
I would love to hear your reasoning, Mr. Baligian.
We'll have that conversation. Maybe when we have some Cajun crust later.
We'll bring in John Kidd,
yeah,
our
we'll bring
special
John
guest.
Kidd, and we'll have that special guest. But no, that's what we do. That's why we say it early in the year. That's why we say it often during the year. That's our criteria. We have found that it works best. We try to take everything into consideration. And yes, how well your team does plays a part. No, there's no question about that. If your team goes and wins multiple playoff games, dare I say, gets down to Ford Field and wins a championship, yeah, it does improve your chances. So, Grand Blanc, thank you. I loved receiving nice notes and votes for Mr. Morrow. I know John Watson probably received about 5,289. Not that he was counting, but what you need to do is go to the State Champs website, click on awards, and you'll see Mr. Football, and that's how we get those votes in. And just a reminder to everybody, if you win the online vote, you cannot be taken off our list. You're automatically in our Final Four. That does not mean that you will win, but you're automatically in the Final Four. And I'll tell you what, as we look at that one more time, Grant, that is an incredibly impressive list.
It really is. I mean, you go down the list, and I mean, you just look at the schools that these prospects are attending, and it's quite impressive. Really good, diverse class of schools. And Dakota Grant, you see TBD next to his name. You wonder why. Well, he's a junior, and he's probably got as many offers, if not more, than all these cats. I mean, he is a baller, but very excited to see how these guys progress at their college level.
He is going to be, I'm going to call my shot right now, Grant, and you can yell at me if you disagree with me, but I'm going to gaze in my make-believe crystal ball, and I think that Dakota Grant is going to be one of the most recruited players that we've seen recently. Up there in Bryce territory, and I mean that. Bryce Underwood, of course, who went to Belleville, who had offers from everywhere, eventually ended up at Grant's alma mater. I really believe that a year from now, Dakota's going to find himself in that same area.
I agree 100%. And I think Bryce kind of got a little bit of that motion early, quarterback position, right?
Sure.
You always get your name in the paper. Everyone's talking about you, whether you do good or bad. Receiver, got to make plays, and you got to hope that your quarterback can get you to the football. But he is making those plays, and he's got a whole nother year. Just being a junior on this list, pretty impressive nonetheless.
Why don't we take a look at some of the playoff matchups as a matter of fact? And don't forget, we're going to be up north, okay? We're going in a few weeks to do the 8-man finals up in Marquette, but let's take a look at some of those Division 7 matchups. We were talking about it. I'll tell you what, that Harbor Beach team, I'm really intrigued by them. I mentioned it last week. That's as good as a team that I've seen. Maple City Glen Lake is a team that always tends to make some noise, but some big matchups there, Grant.
Yeah, there is. Really good matchups all over the board. It's going to come down to who can control the football. Division 8, Division 7, you're going to see a lot more running of the football. It comes down to who can run it the best, who can stop it the best, and who produces the most turnovers.
You know, the coolest thing about this, too, is John Watson is, like, literally putting the microphone in front of my face, because every now and again I turn into Grant Perry and I start moving my body around and my arms around as well. There's a lot to be excited about. We mentioned that beautiful field at Riverview, Gabriel Richard, a little bit earlier. That's an intriguing matchup against Cabrini. Hudson at 10-0. That one jumps out to you, Grant. Anything jump out to you? Madison Heights, Madison. What more do we need to say?
I mean, you hit it on right in the head. I mean, not much more to say. I got White Pigeon as my dark horse coming out of Region 31. I'll say that much.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and you come over Pewamo, Westphalia. I mean, just a traditional power. You always know that they're going to be in the mix. How about Menominee? Look at those points as well.
Yeah,
52.486.
10-0, sitting high.
So that is Region 25 and Region 26 as we move down. Monroe SMCC, Monroe St. Mary's CC, you know they're always in it. Millington, the defending champion, you can never count out the champion either. There's some good football being played all across Division 7.
Yeah, it really is. And this division and region particularly hits home. Millington, Monroe CC, we got a chance to really watch that game, call that game at Ford Field. Two really good teams. I mean, my guess is one of those teams finds a way out.
No doubt about that. So that is a look at your regions in Division 7. Some great games there that we'll be keeping an eye on. That Millington Lutheran Northwest is one that jumps out to you. This is the coolest thing for me, guys, because I'm telling you right now, I also get to watch some of the scores go across the bottom. I know Hudsonville and Rockford was one that we were both very intrigued. Look what Catholic Central's doing. My goodness.
Ooh, they're a juggernaut.
Ooh, Justin Sassante doing the job. Why don't we take a look at some of those highlights between Chelsea and Goodrich? I know our guy, Ryan Slocum, is out there, so why don't we check out those highlights in just a second? Shout out to Ryan, by the way.
Yeah, great guy.
Ryan does a fantastic job. Whatever he does, we appreciate him being a part of this. So you want to go to Chelsea Goodrich right now? Why don't we go to Chelsea Goodrich highlights right now? This has been a good game so far. The Martians. I love that name.
That's a great,
I just
great name.
do. Goodrich strikes first. How about this 8-yard touchdown run? They jump up 6-0. As we take a look at some of the highlights, look at this pass. That's a big completion.
It's our second touchdown on a tunnel screen we've seen on these highlights so far.
Absolutely. And they all of a sudden, Grant, they've got a 13-0 lead. But Chelsea, not undaunted. Take a look at this. This is the 35-yard run, from Goodrich. There I go again. Not to be confused with Goodrich, Ontario. Goodrich, Michigan. And Goodrich has a 20-7 lead. Gabriel Richard, Allen Park Cabrini. We were just talking about this one. Cabrini gets on the board first. 10-yard touchdown pass. They go up 7-0. They aren't done. They get the ball in deep again. Another touchdown here. Waits, fires. Back of the end zone. 14-0 Cabrini. A couple touchdowns later. Last score I saw, 27-0.
Shout out to Uncle Greg, Cabrini alum.
No doubt.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's right.
Some
I
family
remember
represent,
you talking. I remember you
Got
talking.
a
to me
little
about
dog
that.
in the fight on that one.
Absolutely. So Goodrich, there you see it at the bottom. They're up 13-7 at the half. So this is coming in as we're coming in as well. Why don't we check in with Patty again with some updates? Patty?
Well, if you guys talk about Allen Park Cabrini, I have to talk about Maddie Smith. I did a feature story with her earlier this season. She is the first female kicker in Allen Park Cabrini football history. Great story. She's really taken this opportunity, ran with it, having a great season. She was an all-league member. The longest she kicked in practice was 40 yards, kicked the PAT against Royal Oak Shrine that helped seal that team's victory in the regular season. She was even homecoming queen this fall, and obviously the first football player to be homecoming queen, and then the first duo to both be football players. Just really exciting stuff to see. She's looking to play college soccer, currently on the hunt right now, but she has a very bright future ahead of her. And along the lines of, as we get into these games, let's get a couple of score updates as well, shall we? So first, taking a look at Division 1, Hudsonville leads Rockford 14-10 at the half. The Rams kicked a field goal right before heading into the locker rooms. Saline and Woodhaven at halftime. Saline led 36-0. There's your Tommy Carr. Right. I know, not too bad. If we look at Division 4, Harper Woods leads 20-0 against Harper Woods Chandler Park. And then Notre Dame Prep, I feel like between the first round and this round, just blowing teams out, man. They are 35-0 against Detroit Denby.
We saw that offense, and even in a loss, okay, that team can put up points. That was a dandy. Boy, it seems like an eternity ago now,
really
right?
does.
Doesn't it?
It does.
It was at Lumen Christi. I think it was the first week of September, as fate would have it, Grant.
Don't
but
ask me.
That offense can put some points up. No doubt about that.
Yeah, they can. They can go head-to-head with anyone. No surprise, Patty, that they are off to the start they are. Like Sean said, I mean, their offense really flows through the run game, but their quarterback is very versatile as well. They're a candidate to really make a good run here in that division for sure.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things all around the state. Glad you could join us wherever you may be. Thanks for joining us here on State Champs Score on the State Champs YouTube network, and, of course, all across Local 4 Plus as well. Why don't we take a second? Another one of the awards that we do, this is called the Anvil Award. And we try to pay homage to some of the big nasties all over the great state of Michigan. This is a pretty darn good list, Grant.
Yeah, this is a list for all the big nasties that played out there. This is a list for the guys that don't get the recognitions, maybe in the stat sheet or their name in the paper. But you're going to see these guys' name in the paper. These guys are all going to play college football. It's because they're playing the hardest position on the field at a very elite level. 2 Notre Dame commits. Notre Dame came in the backyard. Looking at a Wisconsin commit over at Detroit Catholic Central, Jack Janda. Talk about a prospect, man. This kid is also entertaining some other schools. Iowa's in the mix. I know a few other schools have mentioned that they want to see if he's interested, but talk about a motor. This kid does not stop playing. Detroit Catholic Central and Cass Tech kind of have that collision course in Division I. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but if they want to keep going, it's going to be behind Jack Janda in that DCC defense.
Same dynamic goes on with our Anvil Award. Go to statechampsnetwork.com, look for awards. You can vote for Mr. Football, and then go vote for the Anvil Award as well. Same dynamic. You know what happens, guys? We'll pick a Final Four. There's your criteria. If you are the online vote winner, you are automatically into the Final Four. And yes, we have had guys in the past in our competitions over the years that not only found a way to win the online vote, but found a way to win it all as well. So vote early, vote often. That's what we say. We encourage you to vote multiple times on this one. Seriously, the more, the merrier. And I don't care what anybody says, Grant Perry, and it takes you a while in life. And even for a guy like you that was a pretty darn good wide receiver. You know where games are won and lost? It's in the trenches.
It is. There would be no offense or defense without those D linemen. They do the dirty work, like you said. They're the nasties. They're the ones that aren't getting the slaps on the backs, not their names in the paper, but they are the center of the whole game that we love, what we call football.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, you know what? I go to the world of the NFL. If you needed a reminder of how important the trenches are, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles would tell you that. I mean, the work that they did on both sides of the ball, Grant, you can't put a price tag on that. And I don't know who came up with the idea a few years ago. It's been a few years that we've been running with the Anvil, but it was a great idea. Was it Lou Was it Lou that came up with that idea? We're going to have to ask John Kidd. But whoever it was a fantastic idea and one that was well overdue.
It's so smart because you think about college, NFL, there's awards for almost every position. So why cater to the skill players that always touch the football? Like you said, Sean, this game is won in the trenches. The ball has to get snapped, and those D linemen are going to rush. Quarterback's got to have a little bit of time to make those big plays. So we got to reward the guys that are not getting their name in the paper, that are doing the hard work and really making those hard collisions.
Orchard Lake St. Mary's on top of your Warriors. I'm sorry, 21-6. That was the latest score that I saw down there. As we're running by that scroll, I think it's fantastic. Grant, you and I can continue to talk. We can continue to look at some of the screens here. Look at Mount Pleasant on top of Gaylord, huh? Ooh, baby.
I'm interested to see that Coopersville East Grand Rapids. Coopersville beat Kennewaw Hills last week. Kennewaw Hills was number 1 seed, if you will, with a lot of playoff points. That was somewhat of an upset. Looking back at it,
there's that DeWitt offense again. I mean, that there's another team. It just seems like year after year after year, they find a way to score just a bunch of points, and that's the beauty of it. De La Salle. Look at how many times have we seen it, Grant?
Yeah.
We were talking about it a couple weeks ago, weren't we?
And it's a 4-5 team, 5-4. I've never seen a 3-6 team in the playoffs, but De La Salle, looks like you belong here. You're playing really well, up 14.5, and it looks like you're probably going to have Detroit Martin Luther King next week if you hold on. So we'll see how that goes.
Why don't we throw it in the back to the one, the only, Lauren Plant. Lauren?
All right, thank you very much, Sean. We have got more highlights. Let's start in Division II District Championship in South Lyon. Dexter in South Lyon. Dexter already on top here, 7-0. They strike again. Cooper on net throws it to Oliver Hutchinson. He is gone, 47 yards, 14-0 Dexter. South Lyon finally catches a break. Handoff to Jacob Stojanovic. It's knocked loose. The lineman legend Hade dives on it in the end zone. Wild play gets the Lions on the board. It's 14-7. We're going to move now to the second quarter. Dexter's passing attack just keeps humming. Arnett goes deep again, this time to Cole Navarra. 63 yards right in stride. That's Arnett's third touchdown pass. Navarra's second touchdown catch. Dreadnought stretch it to 21-7. Still in the second. Arnett does it himself this time. Keeps it on the option. 10 yards to the end zone. Dexter all business at the half. They lead 28-7 in South Lyon. Let's move on to a game to Novi, Division I District Final. Detroit Catholic Central hosting Brighton. Shamrocks looking every bit the two-time defending champs in this particular matchup. Look, right off the bat, Duke Banda. This is Cedric Williams exploding through the seam, 40 yards to the house, 7-0 Shamrocks. Second quarter, Banta's going to hand off to Joshua Peters, who finds the edge, dives in from 10 yards out, 14-0 CC. Still in the second quarter now, Banta is going to go to the air this time, drops a great ball to Samson Gash. The Mr. Football candidate goes and gets it wide open downfield, 49 yards, 21-0. Banta keeps dealing, connects with tight end Jack Janda. That's right, the Wisconsin recruit, the Anvil Award finalist right now, gets a score as a tight end, 28-0 Shamrocks. Then on special teams, Gideon Gash, the other brother, fields the point, makes one cut, takes it back 66 yards for the touchdown. And then before halftime, his brother couldn't just let it sit with Gideon, so Samson had to haul in his second TD of the game. CC is rolling, 42-0 at the half. It's been all Shamrocks and Dreadnoughts so far, both looking dominant heading into the second half. We'll see if Brighton or South Lyon can find any answers after the break.
LP, I'm telling you right now, it seems like there have been 52 different Gashes that have played for Catholic Central, and you can't tell me otherwise. And you know what? They all make plays. Every one of them make plays. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you what, that's going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, it is. And side note, I think we're missing a real opportunity at state champs. Clarkston has the Bash brothers, and I know Samson and the other Gash are probably not twins, but the Gash and the Bash bros, I mean, talk about a segment there, fellas. I think we're missing something. But nonetheless, Samson, Gash, you saw the touchdown. You saw his brother get into the play. We've been seeing the Bash brothers from Clarkston play as well. And I'm pretty sure Clarkston and CC, if Clarkston stays on the right course that they're on, they're going to meet here next week. So Gash and Bash ×2 coming up.
And
maybe.
You were just talking up Janda, and how about Janda?
Yeah.
Playing the role of tight end.
I was saying all that, hey, like,
right?
You don't get your name in the paper, you're not catching football. He says, I'll go catch the footballs. It doesn't matter. I'll do it all. What a kid.
All right, why don't we take a look at some of the matchups in Division 5 and Division 6. Of course, we'll start with Division 6. Some interesting ones, to say the least. What jumps out to you in that top portion in Region 21 and 22?
You know, Belding, I saw him but called him out last week. I'm going to keep calling him out this week, man. 9-1, 57 points. Sitting there in District 43, looking like the top dog. I'm going to take them to move on.
That Montrose team, look at that, 10-0. That's an interesting matchup as well. TC St. Francis, a lot of good football being played in TC. There's that Jackson Lumen Christie team that we talked about. They are going to be tough for anybody. That's another team that can do some things to you offensively.
Yeah, they can. They can score the football, man.
Almont, 61 points themselves at 10-0. That's a good matchup against Marine City. So that's Region 23 and Region 24. We move on to take a look at the Division 5 side of things. Grand Rapids Catholic Central, what a year they've had, huh?
Yeah, they have. And West Catholic, too. I mean, they run a really, really good run game. That should be a really good matchup, man. That GRCC and that GRWC, man. Really good matchup.
Swan Valley's had themselves a good year as well. That's something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
We look down. There's that Notre Dame prep team we were just talking about. How about Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard? The great job that John Robinson has done there. Former Churchill Charger and Wayne State Warrior. He's got the Irish flying right now.
First time that this Irish team is 10-0. They're accomplishing a lot over there. Really good stuff from Gabriel Richard.
Frankenmuth always in the mix.
Yeah.
They're always in the mix. Is this the year they break through? That'll be interesting to see. No doubt about that. So those are some of the matchups that we're keeping an eye on in Division 5 and Division 6 as well. I want to give a shout-out to my guy Chuck again for that scroll, because as we're looking up at the screen like you are, our eyes are like this, and then we're kind of peering over there. I'm not going to lie to you because there's some screens over there, and then we're looking down at at some of those scroll scores that are in front of your eyes right now. Just a lot of excitement going on right now, and that's why we are here. Speaking of here, why don't we throw it there to Patty Cesarini. Patty?
Well, you guys talked a little bit about the Bash brothers, but I just, of course, have to give a funny little story on them. So remember when we covered their game back at the PKC? This just summarizes their relationship with each other. I asked one of them, I can't remember which one because they're literally identical twins, both going to play at Ferris State. I said, what would you, if you had one word to describe how you would describe the relationship that you and your brother have with football? And the answer that I got, monsters. We're just monsters out there. Just a funny moment, but both 4-year varsity players have been starting since their sophomore year. Really big role on this team, and it's not only their play that makes them stand out, but after talking with Coach Pintar too, he says, they've got the typical sibling rivalry kind of relationship where they want to beat up on each other, but then they're each other's best friends, but then just right back at each other's throats the next moment. So he said it's always fun to watch the two of them in practice, just kind of going at it. But again, let's get to a couple more score updates. So Hudsonville now leads Rockford 21-10 in the third quarter. If we look at Division 3, Zeeland West leads St. Joseph's 36-24 in the fourth. Lowell leads Middleville Thornapple Kellogg 21-14 in the third quarter. Couple more for you. Let me just flip my notepad here. If we look at Division 8, I don't have anything there. That might be it. That's all I've got for you guys.
Appreciate it, Patty. Thank you very much. Patty's keeping an eye on the scoreboard. Lots of people in her ear as well. You know what I would like you to keep an eye on? We teased this earlier. Grant Perry had a chance to talk to Jack Tuttle. Does that name sound familiar? Well, it should. It seemed like he was in college for 15 years. He played at, 3 different schools, if memory serves me correct? He was at Indiana. He finished at Michigan, part of the national championship team.
Yeah. To my knowledge, put me on the spot there. To my knowledge, it was 2. I think he's Indiana.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah,
I'm
you
almost
probably are right.
positive
You
that
probably
he
are right.
transferred into Indiana. But regardless, Grant and Jack talking football. You know what? Class is in session. Take notes.
And thanks for joining, Jack. We got Jack Tuttle here joining us, and we're going to do a little game here, Jack, and I think you're the perfect candidate, me as well, because we're going to be talking about quarterbacks and receivers, and we're going to kind of talk about some prospects, not just talk about. These are prospects that are the best in the state of Michigan at their respected positions. But before we do that, I just wanted to touch base and just get a little bit of background from you and your experiences in high school, playing in the playoffs, and just for the viewers listening at home, me and Jack have a couple things in common. We love football. I mean, we're sitting here talking on camera about football. That's pretty obvious. And then two, we both finished our careers at the University of Michigan. So, we're Michigan men, and we're just going to have this conversation about quarterbacks and receivers. And at the end of the conversation, we're going to customize how you see, the Lions, the last Jared Goff, say, hey, if you had to put together a perfect quarterback, who would you do? And he said, John Elway for the arm, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to do that for quarterback and receiver. But before that, Jack, I just wanted to touch base, let the viewers know, you played ball in California, correct, in high school?
Absolutely, I did. San Diego.
Yeah, okay. So tell us, did you have some playoff runs? And then give us a component of your game that you would put on your perfect quarterback.
Yeah, we had a couple playoff runs my sophomore. Fortunately, through my freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, we made pretty deep playoff runs, and I was very blessed that way. But, Grant, the biggest thing in these playoff runs was who's going to step up at the quarterback position and have that it factor. That's that trait you want to have as a quarterback going into playoffs. I was able to step up in high school and make those plays when there's none to be had, when the perfect play call, there was no perfect play call at times, and you faced a defense that beat your offensive call, and you had to make a play when the chips were down. You had to go out there, make a play, get a first down, and move the chains. And that was the biggest thing, and is the telltale of these games, is who's going to step up. And I also saw a little bit of that with J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. During our national championship run, he made some amazing plays and played a crucial role in us winning that national championship in Houston. But Grant, my question to you is, I know you played at a high level receiver, and we're Michigan family, you and I. You played receiver there. I want to ask you back, what are some crucial, traits a receiver's got to have in the playoffs, and what were some things you did in your high school career?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking, Jack. And when I think about the playoffs, and everyone knows playoffs are you lose and you go home, or you win and you advance, right? And some teams embody that, and the great ones really show that, and you can see it on the field. And personally, when I was playing, I kind of turned it into a personal thing, right? This could be my last game. So when that ball was coming in my direction, it felt like no one was around me. The great Chad Ochocinco said, hey, I'm like 7-Eleven. I'm always open. That was my mindset. So similar to what you said, Jack, and hey, like it's a mindset. It's me and my team, and we have to get it done tonight on this play, or else we're going to be watching from the couches. So I mindset over everything, and having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Even if you're supposed to win, man, you go in there acting like you were an underdog, and every snap matters. And that leads us right into this segment. I mean, we're going to touch on some of the best prospects in the state of Michigan at quarterback and receiver. And it's no unfamiliar thing that these guys are on the Mr. Football watch list. One of these guys, at the end of this run, this playoff run, is going to walk away with some trophy, some hardware, and a little bit of pride, saying, hey, I was that guy this year. Now, starting with quarterback, I want you to put together your perfect quarterback. You see on social media these teams, and they ask the NFL players, like, hey, who would you use for your arm or your legs? You hear Michael Vick come up a lot. You hear that, but you don't hear this a lot at the high school level, okay? You just don't. And I think it's about time we give it to the state of Michigan. We tell them, hey, these are the best players, and if we want to customize a quarterback or receiver, these are the traits and the body parts, components that we would put on our guy. Now, starting with you, quarterback position, who do you like, and what parts are you adding on to your robotic perfect quarterback?
Absolutely. Grant, first of all, we may be washed up, but we may have had a little juice back in our day in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'll tell you what, these kids I'm about to talk about do have some juice, and they're going to have some success at the next level. The couple of the traits I'm going to talk about today is 1, arm, 2, vision, and then legs, size, and X factor. We got into that X factor, it factor a little bit. and a moment before. But we're going to talk about some of the guys: Tommy Carr, Donald Tabron, Cade Kaufman, Brady Van Lake, and Jake Merrill, and who is, specializes in each category. And the first one we're going to get into is arm. And I'm going to say both Tommy Carr from Saline High School and Donald Tabron from Cass Tech are both have special arm talents. Both have shown that they can put the ball anywhere on the field. I saw both of them firsthand at Michigan's facility during that 7-on-7 tournament. And let me tell you, it was a show. It was an absolute show. I love watching both of them. They both ooze confidence and know that there's no throw on the field that is going to be too tall a task for them. The next one is going to be vision. And my pick for that was Cade Kaufman from East Kentwood. After watching his film, Cade has great eyes and field vision. You could really tell he understands the game at a high level. And, let me tell you, Grant, even though we may not like Michigan State, I really like him, and they got a good one in him. I like that he's anticipating his throws. The ball is on time in tight windows, and he diagnoses coverage well in his film. The next one is legs, and it was a bit of a tiebreaker for me with Brady Van Lake and Jake Merrill, both absolute beasts, and it was hard to choose. They both have shown that they can make some extraordinary plays with their legs this year, and it was so fun to watch their film. You see them zigging and zagging all over the field, extending plays, and it was beautiful to see some explosive gains, and I would definitely want their legs on my perfect quarterback. The next one's going to be size, and something, as a quarterback, you can't control all the time, but let me tell you, Tommy Carr from Saline High School almost has that perfect size for a quarterback, about 6'3.5". We're going to round up to 6'4" for him, 200 pounds. He's got a great frame with just great room to grow and potential to grow in college and put on some weight. I love his frame and his other traits of his game. The last thing, and we talked about it, is that X factor with, and I'm taking Donald Tabron from Cass Tech. He's been the guy in any situation Cass Tech can rely on and believes in to make that game-winning play. I've seen this young man in person, and he is the real deal. And he's so young. He's so young, Grant, and it's amazing he's doing the things he can do. They won state last year. They're undefeated this year, and one of the best teams in Michigan. It's going to be very fun to watch him, in these playoffs to see if they can repeat and do the things they did last year again. That would be my perfect build with those guys on Mr. Football Michigan list. I feel pretty good about that build. I think that's a pretty good quarterback. But Grant, now I got to ask you, I've shared my thoughts on quarterback a little bit, knowing that you're, a beast at receiver and you played at Michigan, what do you think it takes for, a receiver in playoffs at this time to win those games? What's your perfect build?
Great question, and I'm going to give that to you. I just wanted to touch on your responses. Had an opportunity to see about 3/4 of those guys this year. Saw Donald Tabron. Actually, I saw him earlier in the year. It's been a long year.
Yeah.
And couldn't agree more with your list. Tabron, scariest part, he's still got 2 more years. East Kentwood, Cade Kaufman, we watched we called his game not too long ago. Dude was putting it on the money, man. Quick, fast, quick time delivery. So I think you had a really good list. And then Van Lake and Morrow, those guys make plays with their legs. That's what they do. That's why they're here, and that's why their teams are so successful. But as far as the receiver, man, and we're going to have 4 categories: speed, size, hands, and route running. And one of these guys, personally, I think you could just throw all 4 of them on. Dakota Garant. This kid, he's not committed anywhere because he's still got another year of football. He's got another year, but he's like 6'3", 6'2". Like, he's got the size, he's got the hands, he can play really well. But I'm going to give him with the size. Out of all these guys, I like his size, but not to mention he could do all of them. But Dakota Garant, Harper Woods, give me his size. For hands, it's tough, man. All these guys can catch. That's the receiver's job. What do? Go run a route, get open, and catch the football. But I got to go with C.J. Sadler on this one, man. For being 5'9", $160, half of his highlight tape is double coverage, end zone, touchdown, Moss catches. It's for a 5'9", 160 cat, that you shouldn't be doing that, and he's doing it. And there's a reason he's going to North Carolina next year with Bill Belichick. And then moving on, for speed, a lot of these guys are fast. CJ Sadler's fast. You see a lot of explosive plays. Dakota Grant can make a big play. But when I see Samson Gash running that football on those jet sweeps or running those go routes, it makes the quarterback's job so easy. Hey, toss it to him, let him run, or just throw that thing as far as you can. Because that DB, he's not going to be able to keep up with Samson. I'll tell you that much. And Samson committed to Michigan State, but he's entertaining offers. He's looking around the country because that speed sells, and everyone wants speed. And when you don't have size, speed supplements. So those are my 3 so far. And then route running, I'm going to give it to Marcello Vitti. And the reason I do that, he's a really, really good two-way player. I think all these guys can run really good routes, but he's a really good two-way player. And I say that for route running because when you're a defensive back, you see routes coming at you all day. You can start predetermining when you're going to break, or he's leaning. His split is cut in a little bit. Probably going to be something coming out. Marcelo plays cornerback, safety, and receiver. He sees it from the defensive side, and then he does it on offense. So give me Marcello Vitti for the route running, Dakota Grant for the size, Samson Gash for the speed, and C.J. Sadler, who's heading to Chapel Bill next year. Give me the hands on that guy. And I, quite frankly, love your quarterback. I love my receiver. It's too bad they can't play together.
It's too bad. And you know what, Grant? I want that receiver on my team. That would be an easy receiver to throw to, and it's been fantastic watching all these, young men play this year, and they're chasing championships. And, all of them have very good, they're very good in all these categories we just said. And they're just specialized, we think, in these. But we think, these guys are very good all around. And, again, it's been a blessing watching them play and grow.
Yeah, well, hey, Jack, thanks again for stopping by. I know you're busy. You're out on the West Coast with former high school legend Devin Gardner, calling the game for that UCLA, Nebraska. So good luck there tomorrow. Appreciate the time here tonight, and we'll talk to you here soon, Jack.
Thanks, Grant.
That was great stuff, Grant. Seriously. Well done. Enjoyed that conversation.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I had a great time with Jack. Just made it conversational. Wanted to have some fun. We always are seeing on social media of, the players are going to these media, outings, and they ask them, build your perfect quarterback, build your perfect receiver. You see it at the college level, you see it at the NFL level. So I thought, why not bring it to the high school level and give, the state of Michigan a little taste of the football watch, Mr. Football Watch List, and see how Jack Tuttle would, formulate his quarterback and how I'd formulate my receiver.
Well, you know what? We said it earlier, and we're going to say it often. The MHSAA is a special place to be, and the secret is out around the nation. I mean, Grant, you know it better than anybody. We have people coming from all over to scout the talent and recruit the talent at this level here in the great state.
Yeah, absolutely. And selfishly, from my position, having been a little older now, get to watch these guys play, you start to see some names in college, NFL that we called games on. Dante Moore called his state championship game. He's out in Oregon playing. And the list goes on. I mean, there's multiple guys that have played at this high school level locally that are on the national stage shining. So it's awesome to see, and more is coming. I'll just tell you that much.
We're going to get back to the highlights in just a second. And, Grant, you might want to go walk out of the room in a second. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't like to do it. Please don't get mad at me. I want to give a shout-out, though. We mentioned the great job that Patty's doing in the back, and Chuck created that score, but Christian and Maria are the ones that are scrambling, recording all those scores and inputting them in. So shout out to both Christian and Maria. Thank you very much for helping us out here tonight. And, of course, our video crew who are working a bunch of John kids over there, working like 78 men right now, trying to do some things. And, Grant, this is your cue to walk out the door, okay? Orchard Lake has started to open it up against Brother Rice. We'll take a look at some of the highlights. Orchard Lake pulling away from the Warriors. Here's a touchdown run to make it a 17-6 game. Brother Rice trying to get back into it. Warriors back to pass. This is picked off deep in their own territory, and that sets up another Orchard Lake St. Mary's touchdown. Why don't we take a look at this right here? A little flea flicker. This will be a touchdown pass for Orchard Lake. They have opened up a 35-6 lead over Brother Rice.
Hey, congratulations, St. Mary's. Keep playing good ball, baby.
Romeo has been on fire. No other way to say that. This one has really opened up. How about this? Picked off at about the 37-yard line. A little convoy. Can he get down the near sideline? Oh,
buddy, get a helmet.
Just knocked out of bounds.
Oh, no.
But that sets up a touchdown right here. And Romeo is absolutely rolling right now. The Bulldogs up 49-0. Let's check in with Robbie's Clarkston Wolves and Grand Blanc. Clarkston making things happen again. Let's take a look here. This is a touchdown run from 22 yards out. That opens up a 30-14 lead. Grand Blanc, there's that offense. Morrow, back to pass. How about a 30-yarder right here? Boy, that's a dime. Over the shoulder, huh?
You can't teach a kid to catch better than that. That is textbook hand placement.
The 2-point conversion forthcoming is good, and it's a 30-22 game. But then Clarkson says, okay, you guys pull back, huh? All right. Watch this.
Hank Hornug, number 18. Yeah, he's a ball player for them. Skilled receiver, two-way player, man. He can just go get it. I mean, you see the speed there. Able to get to the edge and then capture the edge for the touchdown.
They are back on top, 37-22. Grant, you know the crazy thing when you watch that guy run, and we saw them a couple times this year, he's one of those guys that doesn't look like he's moving until he's 5 yards beyond you.
Yeah, it looks like the defense is going to be able to get that corner, be able to capture him and cut off that angle. But those strides, he's like 6'2", 6'3". He just got that horse stride. He hits that corner, and it's kiss you goodbye.
More scores coming in. Catholic Central has opened up a 45-0 lead. So congratulations to the Shamrocks. They have really flexed their muscle tonight out in Novi. Hey, while we have a second, why don't we look at the Division 4? We're going to look at Division 4 and Division 3 here, fellas. Let's start with Division 4. How about Escanaba, huh? The Eskimos with a Y, I might add. Eskimos with a Y. What a good year they've had. That's a great matchup against Big Rapids. Grand Rapids Christian in Portland.
Hey, don't sleep on those 6-4 teams. Now.
No.
Don't sleep on them.
Unity Christian, of course, a young man by the name of Isaac Tesla came out of there. Are you familiar with his work?
I am.
I think he's going to become more involved in the next few weeks. I'm going out on a limb, and I have a feeling you're going to see him a little bit more involved. Let's move on in Division 4 to look at some of these matchups. Divine Child, what a season they're having. We had them in the focal point last week. We were watching a lot of Goodrich and Chelsea earlier. What a fantastic match that is.
Yeah.
And then, look, make no mistake about it, the class out in Region 6, Harper Woods. Look at that point total. 88.2222.
Man, that is exactly what you want on your social studies test. That's a high B, low A, man. That's good work there. And reason for that, they got Dakota Garant, Nate Rochlow at quarterback. Man, they play great football over there at Harper Woods.
All right, so let's take a look at Division 3. Some intriguing matchups here. We were talking about that Mount Pleasant Gaylord game earlier. Zeeland West was rolling earlier. I forget what the score was, but Grant, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they were up quite a bit in that one. As the scores continue to scroll along the bottom, we appreciate that. Some fantastic games as you move down to Region 11 and Region 12. That DeWitt team, they just keep winning.
Yep, they do. And everyone's going to look and see Martin Luther King and De La Salle. They're going to put all their eggs on those baskets. And they're sleeping on 10-0, 79-point total playoff points. DeWitt looking good.
That's pretty darn good. Of course, Martin Luther King knocked off Trenton earlier. That is one of our finals. I saw some finals come across along the bottom as well. When we get some more, we will pass them along to you. As a matter of fact, why don't we pass you off to the one, the only, Patty Cesarini. Hi, Patty.
Hi, Sean. Well, let's talk about some of those final scores. So in Division 3, Mount Pleasant beat Gaylord 42-0. In Division 6, Lumen Christi 44-0 against Napoleon. 57. Clinton had a 22-14 win over Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central. And then I've been keeping an eye on that Hudsonville-Rockford game. And it's an interesting game because Rockford has trailed the entire game, but they just keep hanging on. They will not let go. So they're in the fourth quarter right now, 28-17. As I get more information on that one specifically, because that is one of the closer games right now, I will update you guys. So back over to you.
Yeah, that's one we were talking about around the office, to be honest with you, because we had a chance to see Hudsonville. And Grant, you heard Jack Tuttle use the word it. It can be applied to teams as well. And the way that I use it in regards to a team like Hudsonville is they have it when it comes to finding a way to win a football game. They've shown it all year.
Yeah, they do. And that it's hard to sometimes be described. You can't really define it, but you just see it and you know it. It's kind of like when that player passes the eye test. You're like, man, that team looks like they are hitting the right stride right at the right time. They're 10-0. So they've been hitting the right stride all year, but there's a little bit of that playoff stride that it looks like they're hitting, and it's looking really, really good.
Rockford Rams not going away, as Patty said as well. So that's something certainly to keep an eye on. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, as we mentioned, I believe that's 35-6 now. Somebody had told me that's 35-6. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on. But Grant, great action all around the state. And you know what? We're going to be here. Guys, we're going to be here. Shout out to John Kidd, Carlson, on top of Bedford. How about that? John's a proud Carlson alum.
Absolutely. The running back Wright for them, I mean, just Isaiah Wright, ball player. We saw him last year. Big reason why they're having so much success. He's committed to play at Purdue.
There's that Zeeland West score that we were talking about. Yeah, they've opened up a 42-24 lead over St. Joseph. So DeWitt 31-0 at last check. Yeah, some fantastic action going on around the state as we get 1 week closer to Ford Field. Still so many fantastic games to talk about, not only here tonight, but in the weeks beyond. And hopefully, as I look over to our director, John Watson, hopefully, Grant, you and I are going to be here to talk about those games the next few weeks. Yes, the boss said yes. Grant, we won. Yes.
Let's go.
Sometimes the good guys win, right?
They
this
do,
is one
yeah.
time the good guys win. So, yeah, no doubt about it. So we're keeping tabs on what's going on. I can't tell you guys how much I love this squirrel because you know what it does? It feeds that fan in me where there are 100 things going on right now, and I can keep my head on a swivel, Grant, and watch everything that's going on right now, and that's what's pretty cool. Boy, look at Harper Woods.
40-0.
Oh,
man.
boy. That is one of the best players in the state right now as a junior. Make no mistake about that.
West Catholic, GRCC, 14-14.
Isn't that fantastic?
It is. Really good job there. Fowler, Gabriel, Richard. Interested to see what they're doing versus Michigan Center. Again, Denby 0. We talked about Notre Dame Prep. I mean, they know how to score points. That's only in the third quarter, and they're up 42-0. Notre Dame Prep, they know how to run the football. They have a quarterback that can throw the football, and they have a defense that plays really well, especially on the road, too. They're a team to just keep an eye on, circle them, come back to them, see how they do. Pretty sure they're going to go pretty far.
Grant, instant update, as a matter of fact, thanks to John Watson for doing this. Hey, listen, a lot of people had Hudsonville on upset alert. As Patty was just talking about, Rockford just kind of hanging around. This one is huge. Hudsonville just got a touchdown to go up 35-17. Guys, do we have the highlights here, or do you want me to just tell people about it? I'll just tell you about it. It looked like Rockford. You got to remember, this was a 28-17 game.
Yeah.
Rockford's driving. Hudsonville got a pick six.
No.
What a flip, huh? I mean, you're this close to perhaps making it a one-score game, Grant, 28-25, dare I say. And instead, Hudsonville picks it off. They take it the distance, and they go back up 35-17.
I mean, when you have a defense that can flip the script like that, I mean, that's when it just goes to show that a game that seems close, Rockford's driving, they're 20, 30 yards out, it can get flipped on its head so quickly. And that's the beautiful thing about high school sports football in the state of Michigan for the playoffs. You really don't know. When something looks like it's a positive and it's going to go one way, the Hudsonville Eagles strike the other way, man. Really good job for the Hudsonville. Up 17 here late in this game. Hudsonville looks like they might find a way to the next round.
I just saw a final Traverse City Central, congratulations to the Trojans. They knock off Muskegon 16-14. That's a final along the bottom.
Is that Muskegon? There was nothing after Muskegon? Just Muskegon?
Muskegon.
Wow.
That's huge.
Ooh.
The Trojans. Wow.
I've had my time playing against Muskegon. I believe that was my junior year state finals. I mean, they are an athletic, a very fast, and they know how to hit hard, man. And that, man, TCC, I know they got a lot of pride coming up from Traverse City, so good for them, man.
By the way, we want to cordially invite you. No, you know what? I'm not cordially inviting you. I'm demanding that you go to our website right now and take part in the Anvil and Mr. Football competitions that we have. You can cast your vote. It's really simple, guys. StateChampsNetwork.com. I'll walk you through it right now. You ready? Go to StateChampsNetwork.com. Are you there yet?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then all you have to do is go to awards. And if you know somebody, perhaps you're watching this fine show right now in Saline. You know, I'd like to vote for Isaiah Harris. Vote for Isaiah Harris. It's really that simple. You can vote early. You can vote often. Again, the top vote getter. You guys have a say in this. The top vote getter, you are automatically put into our Final Four. No ifs, ands, or buts. You are automatically put into our Final Four. Our committee gets together before the finals. We talk that Thanksgiving week, and we put them in the order that we feel. Now, that can change by the time the championship game happens, but that's our Final Four, and then we make a decision from there. I'm going to say the same thing. You know, hey, you're from Dexter. Hey, that kid going to play for the Cyclones, that Owen Winder, I think that kid, that's a guy I'm voting for. Yeah, that's who you go for then. Go vote for him. Vote early. Vote often. But it all starts with going to our website, all right? Go to statechampsnetwork.com, hit awards, and you can vote for both of them if you want. You can vote for our Mr. Football and, of course, our Anvil Award.
Can I vote, if I'm a member of Dexter, can I vote as many times as I would like?
As many times as you want.
Why?
Nobody's going to yell at you. Right? Now, listen, don't get one of those bots involved, okay? You know what? Hey, my goodness gracious, Grant Perry from Brother Rice just got 80,000 votes. How did that happen, all right? But, yeah, be a big part of it. Why don't we throw it to a guy that knows a little bit about that, our own LP, Lauren Plant. Lauren?
I love the Mr. Football race when Grant Perry was in it. It was fantastic. All right, back to Groves. Beverly Hills, the District 2D Championship. Second quarter, we're just going to show you some highlights here. Grove scores. Jeremiah Whiteley got it in early in the third. Cousino answered. Brick sandwich dropped back, finds Julian Hayes. He's going to get in the end zone, 15 yards. They go for two and convert, and we were all tied at 22 apiece. Still in the third, Whiteley continues his monster night. Drives through the piles. Third touchdown, this one from 7 yards out. It was 29-22. Next Cousino drive, 4th and 15, and that is a pick six. Dominic Taylor is gone, 68 yards to the house. Groves broke it open 36-22. Now in the fourth quarter, just about 7 minutes left in that game. Groves still on top, 36-22, trying to bring home a district title.
Coach Flaherty, that Groves team, it just seems like they're in it every single year.
Yeah, they do. And last year, I really thought it was their year. But looking at this year, I mean, they got just as good of a chance. Dominic Taylor, the kid that just caught that interception, he was worn number 5 last year when we called their game. Heck of a player. Motor through the roof, was making tackle for losses all around the backfield. Not surprised he caught a pick 6 here tonight.
Heartbreak last year. And you know what? You go for it. You know, that the big 2-point conversion, they didn't hit the 2-point conversion, but I'm sure that Coach Flaherty has no regrets over that. You can't live with regret, and they're trying to write a new chapter this year. So congratulations. Well, it isn't over yet, but looking good. Just a couple miles away from where we're sitting, as a matter of fact, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know some people at the game tonight, as a matter of fact, Grant?
I don't know if they're at the game, but my sister just graduated from there last year, so I got a little pride for Groves, man. A lot of my high school, my middle school friends all went there, so if I didn't go to Brother Rice, I'd be there. So
no doubt about it. So, yeah, a lot of connections all over the state. Our own Robbie Elliott, of course, has been living and dying with Clarkston all night. I'm used to Robbie, like, looking at us and, like, making gestures towards us, but his eyes have been like this looking at the screen all night. That's the way it should be, though. You're a Clarkston guy, right? That's the way it should be. As a lot of that stuff is it hits home, no doubt. The one thing you could say, Grant, you're always going to be a Brother Rice guy. No matter what, you're always going to be a Brother Rice guy. I'm always going to be a Leone Stevenson guy. So that will never change. Look at Notre Dame Prep. That's the third quarter.
They're still going. I touched on that ticker one scroll ago. It was 42. So it doesn't stop. The train rolls at Notre Dame Prep.
Boy,
man.
they are. How about Kingsley? Look at Kingsley, 57-6.
At least one Traverse City team made it out.
Yeah, no doubt. Lumen Christi, that's a final now, 44-0 over Napoleon. Boy, that was a good team.
Mm-hmm.
When we went and saw Lumen Christi, that was a good team. We're going to take a look at our Division II and Division I matchups as well. I know John Watson wanted to take a closer look. All right, before we do that, why don't we throw it back to Patty? Patty with Christian and Maria in the left and right ear as well. Patty?
I know. I wish you guys could see them. They're awesome. So we were rolling in a bunch of final scores. Division 6, Kingsley got the win 57-6 over Traverse City St. Francis. Division 8, Maple City Glen Lake got the win 28-14 over East Jordan. Division 2, Midland Dow 21-12 over East Lansing. Division 4, Hudsonville Unity Christian 34-19 over Spring Lake. Division 3, Zeeland West 48-28 against St. Joseph. And Division 2, Gibraltar Carlson 33-14 over Temperance Bedford. Now those were the final scores. Now I have one other update that I do want to talk about is Harper Woods 40-0 against Harper Woods Chandler Park Academy. That's at halftime. Now, I also spoke with a couple of the players on that team with Coach, and they really emphasized that they play divisionless football, quote from him. And they load up their schedule. They see Saline. They see a bunch of these Division I, Division II opponents that really prepare them for the playoffs and to win a state championship. They were state champs in 2023, fell short in 2024, and they're on a little bit of a revenge tour this season, and they could see Goodrich, who I believe they lost to in the semis last year. Back to you guys.
Yeah, you know what, Patty, shout out to you as well, because when you hear Patty say she's going out and about, if you don't believe her, all you need to do is turn on our State Champs television show. And there's an even money chance that you might see Patty driving a Zamboni and cleaning an ice. She might be doing an interview with a volleyball coach. She might be having croquet with a coach up in the UP. Patty's all over town. You're working your tail off, Patty. A great addition to what we do here at State Champs.
Thank
and we
you.
Appreciate every second of it. John Watson now telling me we can take a look at what is going on in Division II and Division I. So why don't we look at this right now, starting in Division II and already at the top, Traverse City Central with the upset tonight over Muskegon.
Man, what a win for Traverse City Central. Good on the Trojans.
It looks like Orchard Lake. Sorry, Grant. It looks like Orchard Lake St. Mary's is going to move on. They were up. Byron Center and Portage. That's one. Have we got an update on that? If you can let us know what's going on with that, that would be pretty cool. That's a pretty cool matchup as well.
Yeah,
Grant.
it is, and that's actually right over where I live. So that's got some implications on where I'm going to get breakfast the next morning. So we're going to have to see who wins this one, and I'm going to need updates.
All right, as we move down, Groves had opened up a little bit of space between themselves and Warren Cousino. Dexter with a big win. They went on the road, if I'm not mistaken, right? They were at South Lyon. So that's a big win by them. I know Carlson was up. Shout out to John Kidd over the Kicking Mules. GPS and SCS Lakeview. I haven't seen an update on that, but that's a pretty darn good matchup.
Yeah, that is. Grosse Pointe South, we had an opportunity to go to their campus and call a few of their games, man. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and great games every time we go. I think they played it was Romeo or one of those red teams, and, man, it was a shootout.
I remember we were there in November, and poor Patty, I'm convinced that she froze that day.
Yeah,
Literally, we had to warm her up in the car. It was very, very cold that day. No doubt about that. Do you guys want to go? Well, let's go to Division I first before we get the update on what's going on at Clarkston. There's that Hudsonville-Rockford game. As I mentioned, some people were saying upset alert on that one, Grant, but Hudsonville continues to find a way to win.
Yeah, I was talking to our partner here, John Kidd, earlier, and he said, watch out for Rockford, and I bought into it, and it looked good. And then Hudsonville, man, just like that, the game can switch, and Hudsonville has that ability to turn the tables.
Howell and East Kentwood, that's a great matchup. The Falcons and the Highlanders. We're going to check in with Grand Blanc and Clarkston in a second. Catholic Central, 45-0, I believe, was the final. Was that the final?
A lot to a little.
Yeah. Saline and Woodhaven. Adams had a pretty good lead at last check over Stony Creek. Cass Tech and Fordson. Boy, a lot of pride between those two schools, no doubt about that. And Romeo was all over Dakota at last check. No doubt about that. All right, let's check back in with Grand Blanc and Clarkston. This was one of those games I think a lot of people thought, well, Clarkston might get beaten this one. On their home turf, Clarkston said, no, sir, we will not. How about this? There's your catch. Now watch this. The run, 72 yards down the field.
Did he score on that, Sean?
Yeah, just a little short. Here's your run. Is that Griffin, right? Griffin. I think Griffin's 0. Lucas is 1. 44-22.
So it's official. We're going to get that bash and gash matchup next round. Is that correct? Clarkston versus DCC.
Ooh, I love every second of that. That is so cool. That should be a
Speed
dandy.
versus power. Ooh,
oh, yeah.
Who comes out on top?
That's exactly. Hey, listen, there's something to be said for ball control. No doubt.
Absolutely.
When you can, Grant, I know from doing games with you, you go 3 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop, 3 yards a pop, first down, 3 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop. Number one, you're holding on to the ball. You're working down that defense. You're playing winning football.
Absolutely. And I don't think much scares Catholic Central as far as opponent-wise. I know Justin Sassante, head coach for Catholic Central, is getting those boys ready. You can see the turnaround that he has had in this program. But if there's a team that can really ruffle some feathers and play correct football and play the right football to beat DCC, it's Clarkston. Just like you said, Sean, the Bash brothers and their ground game. If they can stay ahead of the chains, they have a chance to stay in that game because their quarterback, Alex Wyshenko, has that ability to make that play that you need late in the game.
Yep. Seen it all year long. We saw it when we were down at Wayne State. We saw it when we visited Clarkston. No doubt about that. So the Wolves look like they are going to march on. A fantastic season for Grand Blanc. Unfortunately, looks like it's this close to ending, as a matter of fact. Why don't we throw it back to Patty for a scoring update? Patty?
Some more finals rolling through. Division I, Hudsonville, 35-23 over Rockford. Division 8, Madison Heights, 22-17 over Clarkston Everest. In Division 3, Fenton got the win, 35-7 over Adrian. And in Division 2, Portage Central got the win, 34-7 over Byron Center. And then here's a close game alert. Division 5, West Catholic is tied with Grand Rapids Catholic Central, 14-14. They're headed into overtime, and you will be able to catch all of the highlights from that game on our State Champs High School Sports Show tomorrow morning, Channel 4, 10:30 a.m. You aren't going to want to miss that. Back to you guys.
Boy, isn't she a pro? Did you see her get that plug in? Like it's just second nature, right? Just have that conversation. And by the way, Grant, 10:30 tomorrow morning, right?
Let me tell you how to get there.
Oh, is that beautiful? Shout out to Patty's manicurist as well. I always want to include that every single week. Patty, her manicurist, does the best work in town. There's no doubt about it. Patty, appreciate your work as always. So,
thanks, guys.
Grant, you know what? Not a lot of surprises tonight. I think the one surprise you can say is maybe TCC over Muskegon.
Yeah, that comes to mind for sure. TCC over Muskegon. I feel like there might have been one more, but it's not coming to the top of my mind. But that's definitely sitting at the forefront.
I don't want to say that it's a surprise that Clarkston looks to beat Grand Blanc, but maybe the way that they beat Grand Blanc comes as a surprise. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. But also, man, I mean, Clarkston, like a lot like Detroit Cass Tech, Detroit Martin Luther King, Clarkston, they have so much experience in postseason runs. It's almost like you take Team A and Team B, and they become a whole different, better team in the playoffs. Not that they were bad in the regular season, but they just turn it up a notch. Clarkston Wolves, keep your eyes out.
No doubt. All right, I'm being handed sheets right now. Oh, my goodness. Time for the secret. Make your prediction Uperdome. Oh, is that fantastic? That's our secret. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So how do we want to separate where you go, I go?
Okay, you go ahead. You pick one region, and I'll pick two region. You do the odds, and I'll do the evens.
Odds and evens. Gotcha.
Okay.
Give me Pickford.
I'm going to go with the chalk. I'm going to go with Blanchard Montebello.
Blanchard Montebello. Okay. And then for 3, I'm going to go Martin on this one.
This time I'm going to take K-Pac. How's that?
I like that.
I'm going to take K-Pac. So there you go. All right, as we move down.
District 1, Fletch North Dickinson, or Lake Linden. Those are some great names, I might add. Let me get Fletch North Dickinson, like the way it rolls off the tongue, and they've been playing some good football. I'm
going to go with Gaylord St. Mary. That I'm a little bit of an upset there.
Yeah.
Gaylord St. Mary. How's that?
I like that. I like that pick a lot. For this next one, I mean, 37 playoff points to 37 playoff points, both 10-0. Can both teams win? No. Mendon, I don't know. Give me Portland St. Patrick.
I am going to go with Deckerville here because they were some of the coolest people that I met last year. When we were hanging out at Northern Michigan, I had a big hearty breakfast with a bunch of the Deckerville fans. I love big hearty breakfasts, Grant. So I'm going to go with Deckerville. How's that?
Yep.
Absolutely no football acumen involved in that. I just ate a good breakfast with a bunch of cool people from Deckerville. How's that?
And you got to trust your gut. I trust it 100%.
Don't I ever? I most certainly do. Yeah. All right. Hey, you guys, appreciate you for joining us here on the State Champs Network and, of course, Local 4+. So many thanks to go out there. We have such a great staff behind the scenes. Honest to goodness, it's a blast to come here each and every Friday night. Even if we're here 5 hours before we go on the air, I have fun with each and every one of you, and you work your tails off. Grant, it's a pleasure. You want to do it again next week?
Yeah, I think I'm free.
Let's do it again next week. For everybody involved, my name is Sean Baligian saying thanks so much for inviting us into your phones, your laptops, your televisions, your computers, whatever the case may be. Have a wonderful weekend from SCORE.
State Champs Score is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza. Also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, Alta Equipment Company, Michigan High School Athletic Association, and the Construction Association of Michigan.